Okay, just hit the button. Sharing it, and LinkedIn says go live. And let's see, LinkedIn has not approved for, I'm not approved for LinkedIn Live apparently. Okay, that's all right. We will just go live on Facebook. Remove this from appearing to go live, save changes, and I'm just gonna, oh, it says we are live. Let me just see if we are on Facebook, just making sure. And then I am sharing what we're doing here. Yes, we are live on Facebook. I am so excited. Very cool. Hello. Hello, world. I've got some inspiring stuff for you all. I'm super excited to have a short interview here as an exception on a Saturday because we have something super cool happening next week. That is so in front of us that I wanted to jump on today was Dr. Elizabeth Hughes, who will actually be a leader on my online cruise, and it rhymes with your name. It's perfect. Welcome, Elizabeth.
It's so good to be here.
Yeah, it's so good to have you. So I want to give a short introduction that people know who you are and why you are here and what the heck am I talking about with a cruise. And then we will give a taster of Dr. Elizabeth's amazing passion and expertise. She found something super, super magical in her practice as a doctor. She's actually a Stanford graduate and practiced medicine for 25 years, the traditional way. And she came to a halt where she almost like dead end ground zero with your own health, right? Like you had really a powerful kind of breakdown and then you weren't satisfied.
To say the least, yeah.
Yes. And you realize do you want to share in your own words? I don't even have to say all the things, but you hit this rock bottom. What happened? Let's just jump right in.
Well, so what happened was I was chronically exhausted. I had chronic left hip pain. I had weird tingling sensations all over my body. Some of my fingers in my hand would go numb, and it's very hard to do surgery when fingers in your hand are numb. I was anxious all the time, 24/7. And I was having panic attacks that were blinding me. And I had actually a couple car accidents because I had panic attacks. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was not good. And the crazy thing is that I was doing everything right by the book. I was eating well. I was maintaining my weight correctly. I would go to the doctor and there'd be nothing wrong with me. But there was something clearly wrong. I was diagnosed with a cancer, fortunately at a very early stage, that was a cancer that I shouldn't have gotten. This is a cancer with risk factors. And I didn't have those risk factors and I still was diagnosed with a cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had to say, wait, there's something else wrong. Like my medical training is missing it. And I started tuning into the fact that there were so many of my patients who basically felt the same way, but couldn't verbalize it. Like were unwell, but were healthy. And that was a total breakdown. Like there's got to be something different. There's got to be something we're missing. Because I'm like, if anything, I'm going to be relentless on making sure that people are as healthy as possible. That's my job, right? Right.
Yes.
So that's what I did. And it led me to really ask questions about what are we doing? What's happening? And it didn't happen to me, but I had a patient have a spontaneous resolution of a chronic illness that nobody thought would be recovered. Right.
Wow.
And she 3 weeks, no treatment with a change of belief that I caused, but I didn't mean to do it. And it just sent me down this different path. Like, what does belief do? How does our body heal itself? What are we really doing with medicine versus how much of our medicine is really our bodies? It led me down this rabbit hole for a while.
Nice. A good kind of rabbit hole.
But I will tell you, a really destabilizing rabbit hole, because you suddenly realize, like, I've been doing this medicine thing wrong. Like, it's just, there's something missing. And like, we need we'd be so much healthier as a people, like all of us. This isn't for something just special. This isn't just for cancer patients. What I'm talking about really is the basis of how we stay healthy.
Yes.
And if we really understood what's going on within us all the time, we tap into this incredible power for health that we just think is unattainable now. And it's not. It really is attainable.
I love it so much. I'm so excited to have you here. And I want to acknowledge a few people. We have 5 watchers live on Facebook here. So as you guys are watching, if you haven't, we're getting thumbs up. as you guys are watching, let us know where you're watching from. Say hi in the stream and know that you can ask questions at any moment. We'll go for about 24, that's a weird number, minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I don't know. We will go, we're happy to dig deeper. Like any questions you have, Dr. Elizabeth is a medical doctor who did find medical intuition. Do you want to say a bit more of what did you find that is so magical that we can all access, that really allows us to have full health and heal everything? Is that right?
Right. Well, wow, that's a big pot.
Yeah. Take whatever you want to take out of that.
Yeah, I'll take away from it. So really what I've realized is that most of us are walking around with a set of beliefs along the lines of, my body's not able to repair itself. Like we don't really recognize what our body does. Yeah. Like we don't
go into a doctor and fix me kind of thing.
Right. Or people say all the time, I think I'm falling apart. Like, no.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Right? Like if you were falling apart, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Right? People believe that their body is really tricky and finicky, maybe sometimes that it's booby trapped out to get them, that they're just going to, and sometimes like at the extreme, I'm just going to die anyway, or everyone in my family gets cancer. Anyone in my family has heart disease.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. That's why I'm at risk, and like even believing that, then you kind of create it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people believe that their genes like are written in stone and you can't change that. Our genetic material and the expression of our genes changing all the time, and you can direct how your genes are expressed by what you think. That is the science of epigenetics. That's what Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about all the time. Like that's it. And so how you think and what you feel, we ignore feelings. We ignore the idea that we're supposed to feel healthy. In fact, we live in a society that rewards feeling bad, pushing harder, don't sleep, don't rest, don't take a vacation, don't. And that's actually killing us, like in a real way.
So crazy, yes.
Yeah. So everything's backwards. Everything is upside down. And I, not to get too out on the way spectrum, but I have a sort of ability to read people's feelings and what's going on within their body that I've had since I was a little kid. But because I was also smart and good at science, and I wanted to help people, I did the traditional route of medicine.
Yes.
And I didn't realize I was getting all this other information from people about what was going on in their lives, about their relationships, about and what they were thinking and believing. And I didn't have any way to express it or use it until I finally, I guess I'd reached that breaking point. So it was sort of unfortunate that years of really good information that I had was kind of going to waste because I didn't know what to do with it. And it's like you're talking about the medical system and upheavaling. You want to upheaval the medical system as a thought leader, which you already are by being here. In my experience, I already heard that the doctors are even like with the system, they're regimented. They can't even ask those questions because they don't have time. Is like how did you? Some of it they don't have time, but then if you're getting something like, I think this person's foot pain is related to their divorce. Like anybody else would say, like, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Like I think that, stuff like that. So, now I realize that, they're physically the foot, the song, the foot bone connected to the ankle bone connected to the shin bone. Well, your foot bone's connected to your ankle bone, and it's connected to, that first love who dumped you, and it's related to the job that didn't work out, and it's related to the fight you had last week. Like, so we're a whole organism.
Yeah.
Everything around us can have and does have a physical effect. It all works together. And if you really want to be healthy, you have to look at those beliefs, thoughts, emotion, and the journey that life is, and get those in line. And then your body falls in line.
Yes, I love it so much. And I want to acknowledge a comment here. We have Lainey Smith watching, who is actually also a leader. Hi. Who's also going to be a leader on the cruise next week. And I know she does a lot of work in freeing space to and freeing limiting beliefs. And so I know we're all working on different ends of the spectrum here. And so Lainey is saying so relate seeing and getting all the info since childhood, but minimizing while following academia.
That's it.
Same thing. Thank you, Lainey, for jumping on with that. So I want to let's see. I am so excited about the cruise that I want to give a quick glimpse of what we're gonna do, and so you guys can have a visual of what's happening. And I love that what you just said. What I heard you say, Elizabeth, is that it's like pausing and actually listening is like one of the first steps, right?
Oh yeah.
And so that's going to be a space next week where you can come on board and actually pause. And I know with all the things happening right now, so many on lockdown and all of the negative beliefs, everybody talks about the negativity, and we're going to talk about the positivity and addressing the things and flipping them. So, and I'm so excited to have you on board that you can help people really be present and catch those things and not just be in the sea of whatever is limiting you and making you sick.
Well, and the crazy thing is that once you glom on to something that makes you fearful, triggers that fear response inside of you, you can call it stress, you can call it anxiety, your focus literally narrows to look for more of that. And you said it, you can get caught in this spiral, this whirlpool of worry, and the cruise will help you to sort of come up for it.
Yes, exactly. And be in a floating, a kind of a bubble. I see it kind of as a bubble, and I want to share it. Oh, that's so funny. Hang on. I'm sharing the screen here for our first time. Here is the screen. So this is I just said, I see it kind of as a bubble. And of course, the design is also a bubble. So that's a glimpse of the website and what's happening next week. And so as you come in, you will get to be in a bubble of putting everything on pause and releasing things that don't make you feel good. And we're going to have, with Dr. Elizabeth Hughes, we have a medical doctor, intuitive, who will focus on the body. We have somebody on board who is being yourself into a new way of being. That's a glimpse. So Elizabeth is one of the 5 leaders. You will get in the feeling of a cruise. Address your body. You will address your heart, your mind, your spirit, your happiness as you are on the cruise. And I'm going to give a glimpse here as some leaders. So we have one leader spot open on Tuesday. If you are watching this and you are a leader or you know a leader who would love to be on board and inspire people with your work, message me immediately. So here you see we have other leaders, we have Ruth Levin, for example. She does dance, leadership embodiment through dance, also through the body, and we have all the aspects. And then here's Lainey, who's actually live with us. Madeline is watching. Good to have you. She also helps people uplift their spirit, I know, in so many ways. She's also a leader in her own right. So that's a quick glimpse of what's happening next week. And you guys can come on board as one more leader if you are, or if you are a coach, healer, author, if you somehow want to bring your gifts to the world in a bigger way and feel better and do something for yourself to release more of whatever just doesn't feel like totally zen and enlightened and empowered for yourself, like if you have that and you would want to treat yourself, this is a total win-win-win space where you can give yourself access to that. And you don't actually have to be a let me see, I'm inspired to go back one more time up here. You don't have to even have a business. This is for everybody. If you want to uplift your whole being and feel better and have a break, you can literally come on board and have a vacation-like feeling as you grow your whole being into a more powerful being. Okay, giving the ball to you, Elizabeth. Like, what inspired you to say yes to the cruise? Why don't you say a few words, whatever comes to you?
So I just love the idea of taking this time while we're all on lockdown to work on ourselves, but not in sort of this ponderous, heavy, like, oh, I've just got to work on myself. Like just there needs to be some lightness and some joy and some spark. It's the only thing that's going to get us through this. And, you know, I've found this lockdown period to be more uplifting and actually a time of really rapid growth, because we're all growing all the time. It's been a time of really rapid growth for me. And if I can bring that to you, awesome.
Yeah, I've had a similar experience, like super, I always work online anyway, and I'm always like out in nature and all, like I run not on fumes, but on magic is what I like to say. Like that literally, like, because I've been doing all that release work and come from that soulful, deep energy of play, that's where the magic is. And my cruise actually came together in inspiration as I was outside. I believe it came to me like 2 weeks ago or something, and the whole thing came together in 2 weeks, and I designed everything in 2 weeks. It's totally like magical.
And it is kind of the start of cruise season, at least, like here in the Pacific Northwest where we both are. Like, this is when you start booking your cruises.
I know, right? So here's a spot to book your cruise right now. So Elizabeth will have a special link for you guys that we put in the comments that you can book your ticket through her link, which is basically like acknowledging her as a leader, and like it's the same price and official price, but Elizabeth will get a thank you from me for sharing it because she's awesome. And there's also an affiliate link for all you guys who are watching this. If you know people who like to be uplifted and get the cruise feeling and grow and benefit of amazing leaders to be inspired, they're going to be workshops during the day, live stream, everything's happening online. I'm going to be hosting the whole thing, also give you glimpses from nature outside, feel good stuff for all of you guys who are stuck like somewhere in a city where you can't really get much nature. I'll give you all of that as well. It'll be super magical. So Elizabeth, I wonder, tell us a little bit about what magic you intend to play with on the cruise. Like what will happen on your day, which is Saturday?
Yeah, so next Saturday, sign up. I'm going to start the day with a group intention healing meditation.
So good.
And this is amazingly powerful. And not only you're going to get something from it, and we as a group, it enhances it. It's something that you can, a concept that you can bring into your own communities. Like if you want, like you'll kind of get an idea of how you could do this for yourself, or if you're, inspired to continue to do it, we can figure out a way to continue to do it together, which would be really cool. So that's the first thing. We're going to do a group healing meditation. Then I'm going to teach you how to think like a medical superhero.
I love that so much.
Have those spontaneous remissions that I don't even want to give my whole spiel right now. It's really cool. It'll be really awesome.
Medical superhero thinking. That's all that I needed to hear. That's amazing.
Right. And then later in the afternoon, I'm going to have sort of an open discussion. Right? Yes. Like we're just, I think, Astrid, I'm assuming that you'll be along to sort of lead a discussion.
Yes, I will.
And we'll talk, and I'll take questions and comments and stuff like that, so that we can, you can ask your questions. I'll talk about a little bit more about what I do, what I think, like some big picture stuff, and then we can get into some nitty gritty. And
Yes.
yeah.
I love it so much. Super, super cool. So I wonder if anybody watching this live right now, if you have any question around this topic or any story or something that comes to your mind, you can post in Facebook as a comment. Any question to Dr. Elizabeth Hughes, like how to think like a medical superhero. and uplift your own being. And I know you have all these superpowers under your belt and how you do this, and we don't even have to explain all the how, but you can give magical answers. So I'm kind of curious. Actually, since we don't have an actual question right now, I have something to play with for you as an example. So I'm curious what comes up for you. So I had like a minor thing, like I had a rash show up under my armpits, like the last week or like the last 2 weeks, and now it's kind of going away again. And I had changed nothing in what I was using, like nothing. It didn't make any rational sense, and I kind of already got curious. Well, what does that mean? Like my intuition, like what's the message? But I'm curious, what comes to you? How would you approach this? How can I be a medical superhero?
How can you be a medical superhero? All right. Wow. I'm going to ask you this 2 ways.
Yes.
Right. The first way is if you were to come to me with a rash there, because of my intuitive sort of sense of my processes, I would probably step into you. Mm-hmm. I actually have the ability to step into what's going on for you and get sort of messages from your body.
Yeah,
and that's a really individualized process. Yes. That has to be done one-on-one. I can't do it.
Yes, got it.
And then we would, actually ask questions of the rash. Like, what are you trying to say?
Nice.
So on a one-to-one basis, that's what I would say. But in a broad way to think like a superhero, a lot of people would have this rash and say, "Oh, damn! I've got this rash. Like, there's something wrong with me. There's like I'm broken." And to realize, like, oh, my body is trying to tell me something. And really listening. That moment of listening is super important. Realize your body's not out to get you. It's on your side.
Yes.
and then be open to the idea that what it needs is not moisturizer or a different soap. Like the physical isn't always it. Maybe that rash under your armpit is telling you need more sleep. Maybe it's telling you need to laugh more. So there's some actions that people do that they forget, that your body needs to know that it can, quote unquote, know that it triggers the healing response.
Yeah.
Like that. And the third thing is to just expect it to get better.
Nice. Yeah.
It's funny that so many people say, I've had this for so long and I'm not sure it's going to get better. It's like, it's going to get better. Expect it to get better, and have that outlook, because you make your future this sounds like a little bit of a cliche, that you make your future starting right now. And people get that when they're talking about, let's say, education or getting a good relationship.
Oh, yeah, right.
But you make the future of your body right now. And so if you're holding on to the fact that my rash never goes away, guess what? Your rash isn't going to go away. So those are
so big
superhero tips.
Yes. Thank you so much. I love it. And I actually did experience that. Yeah, it was perfect. And I kind of did that in my own way, because I've been opening my own intuition a lot. And I kind of, I did an intuitive search and look what popped out at me. And it was like, well, what can it mean? And it's funny, like what can be the message? That's what I kind of asked. And it was like all these layers that, like, if I were my body, like, how would I give me a message, right? Like, it's kind of funny.
Like your body doesn't think. Like, that's the job of your brain. And you have something like 30,000 thoughts a day, and they just go. The same way your heart beats, many thousands of times a day. It just beats. And we don't pay a whole lot of attention to every beat. But we grasp on to our thoughts all the time. And the body sometimes has to scream in another way with a rash, with a hip pain, with stomach problems in order to get our attention. Stop paying attention to the thinking and start paying attention to what the rest from here down needs.
Yeah, and for me, it was a way of like kind of what I heard you describe also is I had to shift into curiosity, like, what can that mean? And like, what kind of message can that be? And I was starting to think in metaphors of like, okay, skin, getting under the skin, like, and for me, it was like a relationship thing. It was like, like literally like, like what feels like uncomfortable or that kind of thing, or like under the skin, and like I got the message and it started to get better.
right
Yeah, it's
well
really
well okay, so I'm going to tell you an extreme story that right now.
Yes.
So my first, not my first personal experience, but my second personal experience with this happened while I was in medical school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in my final year of medical school when I was trying to decide what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And there was a deadline because there's a complicated job.
Oh my gosh, perfect time to totally shatter your paradigm of what you're doing.
Well, the crazy thing is I didn't. That's the sad thing. But I'll tell you what happened. So as this deadline was approaching in the 2.5 to 3 months beforehand, I developed a rash, very severe, all over my arms and legs. It was summertime and I couldn't wear short sleeve shirts. I couldn't wear shorts at all because I was covered with this icky looking rash. And my body was trying to tell me what I was supposed to do with my life. It was like, and I was busy trying to put creams and medicine on it and take oatmeal baths and do all the doctor stuff.
Yeah.
But the minute I listened, the itching that had been keeping me awake all night for weeks went away. Like, boom, gone. And within 2 weeks, the rash was gone.
Oh my God. So what was your message then?
Well, it told me what ironically, it told me I was supposed to be a dermatologist, but I was trying to decide whether to be, I had 3 different things that I might want to be. And it said, when I made the decision, or when I heard the message, it really sounded like my voice, but I didn't say it out loud. You're going to be a dermatologist. Boom, the itching went away. And what was even more remarkable was not only did I hear that I was supposed to be a dermatologist, I saw a vision of exactly how what was going to happen when I became a dermatologist, like what type of job I was supposed to take, where the type of place I was supposed to be working in. And in a very magical way, it all unfolded exactly in that way 4 years later. So, and
I love that story so much. I didn't even know that about you. It's how funny that I had a rash example and that led into that story, of course.
Well, and here's the bad thing about it. This is going on for me when I'm early in my medical training and medical career, and I ignore it for years. So now
it's so painful to ignore intuition, and it feels terrible. Yeah.
Right. What was I ignoring for all my patients? Like, I am like patient number 1, and I'm not spending, disseminating this information. So.
No judgment. You found like all the things in the perfect timing, and now it serves everybody because now you see both sides. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
You're actually a really amazing spokesperson for people who still understand or still are in the medical, like traditional paradigm, and like they want to like get better, like they're frustrated and they realize something's not working, and who doesn't want to become their own medical superhero? So I mean, like really, especially
if you're out there
now.
And if you're out there and you're working with patients, if you're a nurse, a doctor, a physical therapist, or things like that, it's super important that you understand this other side of medicine. It's going to help you get better results.
Yes. And I love that you're on right now as this whole crazy COVID thing is happening around the world. Like, this is so beneficial for people around the world. So anybody watching this, if you know anybody in the medical field, if you know anybody who wants to feel better, anybody who is scared of this whole thing.
We can talk about that. Like, we can totally talk about that on
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes up intuitively, right? Yeah, totally. Yeah. Share this video. Come on the cruise. I'm going to share one more glimpse of the cruise here. This is happening next week. The doors are open right now to come in. It is actually super affordable, and you can make money as you share along. There's a really cool ambassador thing like down at the bottom. If you clear here, you can be an ambassador, create your own link, share it, and you'll get 50%, and then you can share it with your friends. And yeah, kickback, moneymaker, all the good things, and you feel better. That's the most important thing. So happening next week, and I will close the live stream here. We're at 30 minutes. Thank you so much, Dr. Elizabeth Hughes. I'm so excited to have you on board next Saturday.
I'm excited too. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, and so powerful. Like, all of it. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So if you're watching this, leave comments. I will bring what your comments in. We'll make sure to answer questions. Like, I love info.
Yes. Any questions, any comments, acknowledgement, all the things. Thank you, and happy weekend, everybody. I'll stop the live stream, and we will see you on board.